Hi everyone, 大家好. This is Jake Gill, Director of Skritter, and in today's tutorial video, we're going to be talking about studying on Skritter and the study page specifically. We will go over what is on the study page and how to use it effectively. We'll talk about the various prompt types that are introduced when studying Chinese on Skritter, and we'll get into some advanced settings and how they work and how we can use them effectively to boost our character learning performance. So let's get started here. Skritter HQ is the account that I'm currently using. You'll see that we have 48 items ready to review in our study queue. So I'm going to hit this button, and it's going to load everything right up for me. So the first thing that we're seeing here on Skritter is actually new to Skritter 2.0, and this is something called teaching mode. And the goal of teaching mode is to allow users to see the correct stroke order for characters when they appear for the first time on Skritter. So you'll see that this character is new. We have never studied it before. We have never encountered it before. And Skritter is going to go ahead and allow us to trace the character in order to learn the correct stroke order. So let's go ahead and do that. I'm using a Wacom tablet to record this video, so my strokes are going to be very nice. Before I move on to the next prompt here, I'd like to take a moment to talk about the additional information that's on the right-hand side here of this prompt. Below the character or word as it would appear, we are going to see the pronunciation in pinyin. So here you have the n neutral tone, ni second tone. The sentence here I've already loaded up, 我很好你呢. We also have a mnemonic area, so if we wanted to add some kind of a hint or memory hook, we hit the edit pencil, we add our mnemonic in there, and when we're done, we hit the pencil again and it will save. Below that, you can see the breakdown of the character, and we have this for all of our characters. You'll see all of the components that exist inside of them. So here, this character is broken down into a two-part character. It's ko on the left, the mouth radical, and ni, a Buddhist nun, this component on the right. And this component is adding the phonetic variation to the character. So this is kind of defining how the character is pronounced. Up here, we have an audio button. If we press on this, the audio for the character will play again. We can star our word, which means that it will appear in the starred word list. We have a lot of plans for that in the future. Right now, it's just an effective way for you to filter and focus on characters that you might have trouble with or characters you want to review a little bit more later, etc. The pencil button we already covered, but clicking on this will allow us to make changes to the definition or add a mnemonic on our own. We can also ban this word. If this word is something that we have studied before or we find just too troublesome, we don't want to see it right now, we press this ban button and we have two options here. We can either ban the writing for this word, and what this will do is we will still see the other prompt types in Skritter, or we can ban all the parts of the word, and this word will essentially not appear on our study queue anymore until we unban it in the future. For right now, I'm going to keep this word in here. The other thing that we can do here is press the I button. And the I button is going to load up additional information about the character. We're going to see the definition again, our sentence. We'll see a mnemonic. We can see words that contain this character or phrases inside of Skritter. This can be a good reference point for us if we're trying to expand our vocabulary or just kind of get a better grasp of how a character is used. On the bottom here, as I scroll down, we're going to see our stats for this character. We have not studied this character yet, so everything is kind of ready for us. It's a brand new character, but eventually, as we're studying on Skritter, we're going to see these things fill in. So we can, obviously, if we're interested in kind of some more metrics on it, we want to see how we're doing, we can press the info button and see this. We also have the option on Skritter to look up the character in a dictionary of your choice, and we have a variety of them to choose from. Any single one of these, if we click on it, let's just use MDGB, for example. That is going to open a new tab for us with the character loaded. And we can see the definitions. We can see a variety of additional information if we so need it. And any dictionary here you select will be remembered and used every single time. So this can be a very nice reference point. For now, I'm going to go ahead and close this out. And let's move on to the next prompt. So the next prompt type we have on Skritter after the writing prompt is a reading prompt. And this asks us what the pinyin is or what the pronunciation is. And in order to answer these prompts, you will see that there's a text box down here for us to enter in And we are just going to type our answer and add the tone to it at the end using the number keys. So this is 老师的师, teacher. So we will do SHI for 师, and this is a first tone, so we hit 1. It will add the tone mark above the appropriate letter, and when we hit enter, it will check our answer against the correct answer and provide the audio for us. The next prompt type here is a tone prompt, and this is asking us to draw the tone for the character. Now here we know 是, we just studied this character, it is a first tone, and so we are just going to draw using our mouse or our tablet or our finger if we're on a mobile device, the tone mark as it might appear over the necessary letter. And so here we have 是 is a first tone, so we're just going to draw our line, and it will record that character for us. The last prompt type on Skritter is a definition prompt. This asks us a simple question: what is the definition of this character? And when we click on this answer, it will reveal the English definition or the translated definition as we have it in Skritter, and it's up to us as the user to determine whether or not we know this character. So here the answer we can see is good, well, nice, very, quite, or if we pronounce it how in the fourth tone, that would be to be fond of something. I how, for example, a hobby. So for this answer, there is no way that we on Skritter can check whether or not you know this. I think that typing, we've done it in the past, it's way too complicated for people to type in the entire definition. It's just important that you think about these things and be honest with yourself about the grading. So if we know the character, we can obviously keep it as correct. But if we forgot the character, we're going to have to mark this as a 1. Or a 2 if we think, okay, I sort of know this character, but I didn't remember the second definition or something like that. And too easy, obviously, is going to say, you know what, I got this character. Let's focus on some other things that matter. All right. So now that you understand the various prompt types on Skritter, let's get into some of the ways that we can use the canvas and some of the ways that we can practice on a character when it's not in teaching mode. You'll see that we have a blank screen now. This is some unknown information, or actually it's a character that we've reviewed before. So,
是
we can hear the audio for the character is 是 in the fourth tone. We have the definition displayed here on the right, and we can show our sentences and mnemonics if we so choose. These are hints, and so let's try and avoid using them if we don't need them. So right now, I'm going to explain the buttons that are on the bottom of this screen. If this is a character that you've studied before and you simply cannot remember anything about it, we can use two different things. The first thing is we can press this button down here. This enables the teaching mode. It engages this, it teaches you once again the stroke order of the character and allows you to follow along. So we can follow this along and write it. If we use the erase button here,
是
we are resetting the prompt. So this allows us to write it again, maybe practice it again, do it from memory this time, rather than having the strokes behind us. Now you'll notice that the prompt is graded wrong when I do this, and this is because we used teaching mode originally. So it remembers kind of our default thing that we did, our default behavior, and it will grade it accordingly. If you want to adjust that, we can use the grading buttons here, or we can toggle this switch on the bottom, and this will toggle a character between right and wrong, correct and incorrect. I'm going to go ahead and erase this character once more, though, and I want to talk to you guys about the I. This is a hint system on Skritter, and so if we press this, much like the teaching mode button, it will show us the character, but we're not seeing any stroke order hints here. This is just for us to kind of get a visual of the character, and you'll notice once we start writing the character that it will begin to fade. And it's up to us to use our memory to complete the rest of the prompt. Now the character will still be marked wrong if we use a hint system. The other things on the study page, we at any single time can double tap on the screen, and that will give us the next stroke inside of the character. So if we're at a loss as to where to go next, we can press on that and it will reveal the strokes for us.
是
Some other things we can do inside of the canvas here, if we ever want to swipe up using our mouse.
是
That will erase the character. No
是
need to go down to the erase button every single time, and this works quite nice if we are on
是
a tablet. We can just swipe up and write the
是
prompt again. One other thing that I want you guys to understand about the study page is how these buttons on the bottom work. For each one of our prompt types, when you complete them, you will see 4 selections. Forgot, a 1, a so-so, 2, got it, 3, and too easy, 4. Now, Skritter automatically grades the things that you are writing inside of our system. But if you ever want to manually control these characters or these grades, you can do that using the buttons here or using 1, 2, 3, 4 on your keyboard. If we mark a character as wrong, what we are telling Skritter is that obviously we don't know this character, but this is part of this 1, 2, 3, 4 is part of a larger system of Skritter, and that is our spaced repetition system, the algorithm that spaces out all of your vocabulary and helps you focus on the things that you're struggling with the most. So when this character is marked wrong, what it means is that it will be reviewed more often relative to the other characters that we're learning on Skritter. If we mark something as so-so, we are basically telling Skritter that part of this we knew, maybe we hesitated, we needed to use a hint. And what that does is it will adjust the grading and the time with which you see it next relative to characters that you know well or wrong, and kind of put that in the middle, obviously. If a character is marked as correct, that means that we understand it, and as we learn, this character will be pushed further and further and further out in our review queue. The focus inside of Skritter shouldn't be on things that you know how to write. It's kind of wasting time. What we want to be focusing on are the things that we forget, the things that we're hesitant about. We're so-so on them. We don't need to study characters that we get right. And so as you're studying here, when things are marked right or even too easy, what happens there is the frequency with which we see these characters will diminish relative to the other things that we're studying in Skritter. Obviously, if we don't have a lot of items in our queue, we will continue to see these characters until more words get added, more words and characters get added. The last thing I want to talk about on the study page is the settings and how we can control them. Study settings on Skritter are a way for us to control the study page and the content that we're seeing on it while we are using the application. These are not global settings, so they're not going to make changes to your entire account, but what they will do is allow you to have slightly more focused studies or even more challenging studies, and I'll get into exactly how that works right now. Up here at the top, we're seeing filter parts. As we mentioned before, Skritter is broken down into 4 types. We have the writing, we have the tone, we have the reading, and we have the definition. If we unselect any of these, we will be toggling them off for the time that we are using this system and make any changes. So at this point, with the way that I have things currently set, I will only see writing prompts on Skritter. It will save my settings and it's going to apply them to the study page. And now when it loads back up, all of the prompts that we are studying should be just writing prompts. This can be a great way for us to clear a study queue that is a little bit larger. We can also just work more effectively, clearing out all of the things that are writing prompts and then moving to our tone prompts, definition prompts, and reading prompts. It also can be a good way for us to prepare for an upcoming exam or something like that where we just need the information that we need. We can use that. So right now we just have our writing prompts enabled, and so we are going to study how to write some characters on Skritter.
他
You'll see that new characters still come up as we're studying.
好好是
At any time, we can use the plus button and we can still add words on Skritter.
是
None of that will change. The only thing that changes is that the prompts that we are seeing are only writing prompts. Now, ways that we can make Skritter harder are by using this hide reading, hide definition, and raw squigs, by using these features. If we turn on hide reading, and I'll save this and load this up, what happens on the study page is you will no longer hear the audio for the character. that comes up. And it's up to the user, it's up to us to use the definition to answer this question. So it's kind of just an extra layer if you really want to truly test yourself. Do I know this character even without the pronunciation? Do I know just what this character is with the definition alone? Then you can turn this on. Now, if you need a hint at any time, you can go up and press the show button and it will display the audio for us. We can also press the audio button and hear our hint.
诗
And we can write the character. Alternatively, toggling the definition off, we'll do the exact same thing in reverse. We'll let this load up. The pronunciation of the character will be displayed, but the definition will be hidden, and it's up to us to figure out the character just based on how it's pronounced. Now, when we have more and more characters in our queue, this gets a little bit more complicated. There could be multiple answers for sure, but here we've only been studying for a little while, and we know that this is the character that we've been writing over and over again.
生
So here we'll have our pronunciation sheng, and if we're unsure, we can click the show button and it will give us our definition, and then we can complete the prompt. The last mode that I want to talk about here is raw squigs, and this is kind of, users have described this as the hard mode on Skritter. This is the way that we get to see and test our abilities as a character writer. Do we truly know how to write this character? We turn on raw squigs and we press save. And what you'll see happen here is, rather than beautiful strokes that snap into place, rather than tapping on the screen and getting kind of a little bit of a hint as we're writing things, it's up to us, the user, to actually write the character. And you'll see that when I'm writing this character, nothing is happening other than the things that I'm writing. So if and I have to write the correct character. So you'll see that even if I'm trying to write the incorrect strokes on Skritter, it will not recognize that. Eventually, it will provide me a prompt or a hint and just say, Jake, this is the first stroke here. But when we're writing this character, it's up to us to produce the character on our own. And when we're done with the prompt, it will check what we wrote versus the kind of idealized form that we have loaded in Skritter.
什么
Let's do a few more of these. It works with teaching mode as well. It is a great way for you to practice your strokes. It's not necessarily about making these things look beautiful. What it is about is making sure that you truly know how to write these characters, how you understand how the strokes exist in the space provided for you.
地
And really, it just makes, and that was a beautiful character there. Really, what it does here is it really asks you the question, do you know how to write this character? And so I highly recommend that you check out raw squigs and turn them on. It will make you a better, more efficient learner if you have them on. Finally, here we have teaching mode. We can toggle this on or off. This is the stroke order hints, the teaching you of the stroke order that you'll see. If you turn this off, new characters will be presented as a blank page, just like the rest of them. We can toggle our audio on and off, and we can also disable the pinyin input on reading prompts. If we want to go through things very quickly, by disabling this, we turn off the keyboard input function, and we are just writing. Basically, it's just quizzing us on the characters. It is simply going to ask us, what's the pinyin, and it'll be up to us, the user, much like the definition prompt, to reply and tell the answer. So here, this is J. And
这
we'll see
这
that once we click the prompt, it will give us the answer. So there you have it. Those are study settings on Skritter and how to use them. I hope this helps you understand a little bit more about how Skritter works, and also allows you to make the most out of your time using Skritter. If you guys have any questions, feel free to contact us at team@skritter.com. Otherwise, thanks for watching and stay tuned for more content. Cheers.